Okay, good morning. Another week goes by, doesn't it? Flies by now at the moment. So what I want to do in this video is obviously outline two or three things in here. So I'll do it quite quickly. What I want to do is obviously set the work you need to do for this week and be clear on what it is and why you're doing it. But obviously also want to, in turn, talk about exactly what you need to do to get this level 2 qualification. Okay, because it's all become crystal clear now. Pretty much Friday morning, shall we say. So that's how late things have been. So I can't apologise for it because it's a little bit out of my control. So I thought on the Monday I'd get this out as soon as possible, so you're well aware of what you need to do. So what do we need to do then to get finished? So first port of call is exams. You must pass every single exam. So that's all 10 in some cases. No one's got all 10 outstanding, if anyone's wondering about that. That sounds quite bad, doesn't it? But any exams you've got left to do, you do need to complete them all. So it's not just the core units, it's every single one. So for example, Group A, we were well on our way as a group, with 3 being left at March, which was a great position to be in. So we had comms with others, sanitation and science left to do. Personally, I think we'd have had that done and dusted by now, if I'm honest. And Group B, we were very, very similar. We had a bit of comms, environmental, we had sanitation to do, some recapping on science, and again, I think we would have been done. So I do feel a bit disheartened slightly by it, because I think, well, we were on a really good roll with this. But it's lockdown, isn't it? You know, we're not in control of what happens in the world, sadly to say. So, you know, we are where we are now. But I must admit we did work brilliantly to get up to where we were, so we were well on the right tracks. So let's take a bit of that positivity and a bit of that momentum going forward, because we can do this and we will do this. Okay. So in terms of exams, you've got to get every single one done. So regardless. The other caveat to that is pretty much if you've got some resits to do, if you scored over 50 but obviously didn't get to the 60, we are able to use professional discussions to jump you up from 50 to 60%. So that will be actually quite useful. What that does mean though is that we'll be doing a lot of work this week to work all that out and then work out the sets of questions surrounding it. So if you can do yourselves a favour and find your old score sheets, that would be good. I've got them all, so don't go into a panic mode thinking I haven't got anything and I don't know anything. I've got every piece of information. But what I think it would be useful is that you have a look through your old score sheets yourselves, because you will know what you scored probably. And you should know what you scored really, because if I was in your position I'd be making notes about what I did and where I was up to, etc, etc. That's just how I'd operate it. But we do have that information and we'll be working it out for you. But do yourselves a favour and have a look at what you've got, please. Okay. So in a nutshell, all exams must be done. If you took some exams and didn't pass but got over 50%, we are able to push you up from 50 to 60%. And obviously if you got less than 50, you've got to sit the whole exam. Simple as that. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense to you in terms of what you're going to be doing, how you're going to do it. In terms of how I'm going to deliver this, some of you have asked if there's a revision session, so it's a good question to ask, so thank you for that, I do appreciate it. We will do some revision sessions. They won't be long revision sessions, and I won't have the time, to be honest, to deliver the whole unit. Now, in some cases, you know, like with the science, etc., with Group A, we didn't even get to the point where we could start it, do we? So that will have to be looked at, to be fair to you, because I couldn't, and I wouldn't expect you to study a whole unit. I think that's not fair whatsoever. Okay, so I will be looking at those. I think the areas to concentrate on really is the smaller stuff first that we can get done quite quickly in the work we've already done. Okay, so for Group A it would be sanitation, wouldn't that be ideal? And same with Group B, because that's what we did a lot of work on just before lockdown. So again, these plans will be brought out to you. In terms of how we're going to do it, there'll be a letter sent to you, as I said last week. In the letter it'll detail exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, but the person at the bottom is the person you need to email, which isn't me. Okay, so just to make you aware of that one. In terms of practical then, nothing's really changed. There's no sort of add-ons. There's only a slight bit that I need to talk to you about. Probably causes more work for staff than students really in some cases. So in terms of practical then, you've got health and safety to do. It's got those 2 units if you've not already done them. Okay, so it's the LPG and electrical safety. Then after that, any practical that's left remaining, we are allowed to do a professional discussion, which is me asking you questions over the phone to make sure you are competent in that area. Okay, so you're asking me questions, a few of you, about that, so thank you again, because these are very valid questions that you're asking, and it clearly shows you putting some thought into it. So in terms of questions then, how would we approach it? I'm not going to catch you out cold, just give you a random phone call, you know, in the middle of the day while you're trying to have your lunch or you're doing something with your family, so have you got half an hour to talk to me? We'll have it pre-arranged, Okay, so I will pre-arrange this with people, and then what we will do once it's been pre-arranged, I'll send you some training material over so you can have a quick look at it. Okay, again, you can use your books for these sort of things. Okay, so I will send the information over. I won't catch you on the cuff or anything like that. We'll have it pre-arranged. Okay. What I would say though, if I do send something out to you in terms of like a meeting request of some sort through emails, can you just please make sure you accept it? But if you can't do it for legitimate reasons, can you let me know as soon as possible, please? Otherwise I'm going to be sort of chasing you, and I could have done maybe another couple of phone calls in between at that time, if that makes sense. Okay, so we need to make sure we're in a good position to do that. It will be done over the phone. I think if we do it through Microsoft Teams and Zoom, it's going to take me forever to do it, and then people have got to try and get on it. I use a lot of those two platforms in terms of meetings and things, and it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't, and connection cuts out and all sorts of things. So let's just make it easy, make the phone calls. It's just a lot quicker and easier to do so. Okay, so that's how we will do it. So I'll send you that information straight over there. So that's what your professional discussions will look like, and I've obviously told you about your exams. So put all those things together. That's how you get your qualification. And that word adaptive, the adaptive bit just means it means professional discussion instead of physical work. That's all adaptation really means. It's just another way that we can get your competency out of you and demonstrate it really. Okay, so that's what you need to do. In terms of this week then, because I'm going to be fairly quiet this week in terms of getting hold of people and things, and it's not me having a holiday. It's not. I could probably, we could all do with a holiday, to be fair, couldn't we really, after all this? But what it will mean is I've got to put all these plans together, so I need time just to sit and work those out. So if you do email or you do text and you don't have a response straight away, and I'm normally fairly quick at it, please don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm not. I've just got to get these plans put together. Okay, so it's in your interest that I get these plans put together as well and make sure it's done. So guess what I'm going to be doing today and probably the rest of the week. So we'll make sure they're done. The work I want you to do though, please, is to do some Socrative. So I'm going to release one per day, and it's going to cover a different range of units that we've already looked at, and for most people it will help a lot. You do need to do them. You know why you need to do them. I don't need to explain that to you. Can we please make sure we get it done? Okay. If people haven't been keeping up with what we've been doing, now they're going to have a bit of a problem, because they're probably going to find slightly that they've got masses of work to do to catch up. In some cases, some people haven't done it for various reasons, and I'm aware of that, and that's acceptable. And I think in some cases, some people just thought they were going to get signed off, and that was it. And I don't think we ever said that was the case. Clearly, from the 20th of April videos, it clearly wasn't, was it? So, if that's people's thoughts and opinions, that's fine. You're all entitled to those. But the reality is, you have to pass all exams, 2 bits of practical to do, and professional discussion for the rest of it. So you are basically completing the whole thing. However you want to dress this up or look at it, you are completing the whole lot, and that's what they're doing. Okay. So any questions surrounding what I've said today, email or text or give me a call. Like I say, if I don't get back to you straight away, please understand why, because I'm trying to put the plans together to make this thing work. You've got to bear in mind in terms of planning, it's not a simple exercise as let's bring Group A in one day, Group B the next, and do the exams. I've got to work with inside a college risk assessment, which allows me only so many students per day and for so long, etc., etc. So that's where it becomes more challenging. Okay, so I've got to work my way around it and follow all the college's guidelines. So it's a big job to do. Okay, we will get it done. So don't think we're not going to get it done. We are going to get it done. But what I do need you to do is play your role in it as well, because it will be quite quick and fast as the way we're going to actually approach it. Okay, and like I say, the option for me is to keep you out of college as much as possible, to save you having the interaction with people, when you don't particularly need it. So there's the challenges that I face to try and do that plan. Okay, so it is quite a lot to do. So I do need some space this week to be able to do it. So go on to Socrative every day. If you've passed a unit and you see it on there, leave it for that day. Don't do it. It's no point. And then wait for the next day to pick up the unit you do need to do. Okay, so it's a matter of going on there, please, and working our way through that. And then hopefully what I should be able to do is put you in a bit more of a position next week then, in terms of getting some other stuff done ready for me. So there's a couple of health and safety assessments. I think we'll tackle those next week. I'll do a couple of videos on each one of those just to make sure you're comfortable and you're okay with those. And then hopefully we should be at a point where we should be seeing you shortly, I think, to get all this done and dusted. Okay, so any questions though, please let me know. Okay, so hope you're all safe, hope you're all keeping well, hope your families are safe and keeping well as well. Lockdown's getting eased, isn't it? It's getting a bit easier, to be fair. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed things keep improving. But not necessarily you guys, but I've just noticed in general there's a few people that seem to think that it's all gone away. I spoke to a few people at the weekend and they're sort of, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I think, oh, okay, it's not gone. So what I'll say is, the government says be alert. I kind of agree with that, but I would be sensible is what I would say. Okay, we all need to go places and do things. So same with myself, but be sensible about the choices that you make and how you do it. Okay, so I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.